Philippine social media is on fire right now, and the center of it is a woman named Alice Go. You see, Alice Go is a mayor, and people started thinking that she's a Chinese spy. So why do people think that she's a spy? Alice Go isn't actually Alice Go. Allegedly, there's actually another Alice Go. So who is Alice Go, and has she been stealing the identity of somebody else? Disclaimer, I don't know what it is about Western media, but every time we talk about China or espionage, it always devolves into, let's beware of Chinese people, these people are spies. The Chinese people in this case are literally a part of a criminal organization. They are not indicative of real life Chinese people. With that out of the way, let's continue with the video. According to Alice, she was the result of an illegitimate pregnancy between her father and Amelia Leal Go, the maid. She tells us that that was the reason why she grew up really hidden and kind of thrown inside of a pig farm. When authorities dug deeper into her, they find a lot of discrepancies in her story. Senator Risa Hontiveros had looked into Alice Go's birth certificate, and what they found was pretty confusing. That Amelia, the supposed mother of Alice Go, doesn't really have any records at all. Before we continue, I want you to look at this photo. What could be the story behind it? In February 25, 2024, a man was spotted trying to flee the Baofu Pogo compound. The man jumped over the gate behind the dorms and ran as fast as he could. He was running and screaming for help. Someone had saw the man running and they'd let them inside of their own house. Later, when they checked the CCTV footage, they had found that the man was being chased by 7 security guards. So who is this man and what does he have to do with this photo? The man was later identified as Nguyen Manduk. But for simplicity, let's call him Danny. Investigators found that Danny had bruises on his neck and his chest, and there was a lot of signs of physical abuse. Authorities later find that Danny isn't the only victim in the Pogo compound, and there were actually more victims. Soon after, the Malaysian government had asked for help to rescue Malaysian citizens who fell victim to Pogo. The Baofu Pogo compound raid is one of the biggest rescue operations in the Philippines, with a total of 875 people being rescued. 432 mainland Chinese nationals, 47 Vietnamese, 8 Malaysians, and 3 Taiwanese, and 2 Indonesians, and 2 Rwandians, and many undocumented people. When researching this case, I had so many questions I've always wanted to ask, like, how can any of that happen? Almost 900 people being human trafficked and tortured, and the literal criminal organization literally has a permit. Didn't anybody do background checks? We've been talking a lot about Pogo, but what does Pogo even mean exactly? Pogo stands for Philippine Offshore Gaming Operator, established by the Philippine government and at the time, President Duterte. So what does Alice Go have anything to do with it? Well, when the raid happened, there was exactly 38 cars inside of the building. When investigators checked, there wasn't really anything wrong about these cars. It was kind of just a regular car. Just drive it. Until they looked further. Investigators found that one of the cars belonged to Alice Go. And you might be wondering, who the hell is running this place? Almost 900 people, tortured, human trafficked, and nobody did anything? Unfortunately, we have your answer. The Baofu Pogo compound is located at Bamban, Tarlac. At the time, the mayor of Bamban, Tarlac is no other than Mayor Alice Go. Jesus. Who is Alice Go, and can she just go away? So what happened in the Pogo raid? When authorities stormed the premises, they found 27 metal vaults and they saw the weirdest thing they have ever seen before. It was a wall full of phones. They also found workstations with a bunch of SIM cards, notebooks full of Chinese characters. Authorities suspect that these phones and SIM cards are used for scam, which made authorities wonder what's inside of the vault. When authorities tried to open the vault, a lot of strange things had happened. Suspiciously, all of the local grinders, all the people who could open the vault, magically disappeared. Magically, they all had to go to a seminar. The angle grinders suddenly disappeared, so they couldn't open the vault with angle grinders. And what's even weirder is that the power and water was suddenly cut off, which led authorities to use acetylene to open the vaults. It was as if someone or something didn't want these vaults opened, allegedly. Alice Go was a mystery, but authorities finally thought they found the real identity of Alice Go. Authorities realized that Alice Go had the matching fingerprints of a girl that arrived in the Philippines when she was 12 years old. The name of the girl is Go Ha Ping. She arrived in the Philippines at 2003, January 12, and her biological mother is Wen Yilin. So, who is Alice Go celebrating Mother's Day with? If this was the real mother, then who is that lady? Meanwhile, in the vault opening, authorities had started using acetylene to open the vaults. After a grueling afternoon, authorities had managed to open all of the vaults. They found 7.32 million pesos worth of cash, which was later theorized to be used for operational costs. They also found bills, files, and a bunch of wallet seed phrases for crypto. If you don't know what seed phrases are, when you make a crypto wallet, they give you a seed phrase and it basically controls your wallet. And more importantly, something that could tie Alice Go to this Pogo operation. An electricity bill that went up to 1.5 million pesos, addressed directly to Alice Go, was found in an office inside of the compound. At this point, Alice Go's car is in the compound, her bills are in the compound, and she didn't notice anybody being tortured or human trafficked. No. Or the big ass weird phone wall, which is allegedly used for scamming. When this case blew up and got a lot of international attention, we found a lot of the people who are involved in this thing are international criminals. We have Dennis Cananan, who is an ex-government official who was convicted of graft in the pork barrel scam. We have Bao Yinlin and Zhang Rujin, who are literally fugitives and was convicted in Singapore for a 3 billion Singaporean dollar money laundering case. We even have Wang Xiang, who is a treasurer, who is literally wanted in China. According to one of the alleged torturers, that they would keep photos and videos of the people they unalived from the torture, as if they were enjoying it. Yikes. At the moment, we really don't know who these torture-enjoying individuals are. We just know that they're in there. My question is, how can a criminal organization just be allowed to operate without anybody noticing? Didn't anybody do a background check? What am I paying taxes for, you goddamn idiots? I don't know how incompetent you all need to be to accidentally put a criminal organization in power. Especially when the Pogos thing was started by Pagcor. Doesn't anybody have a job in there? Didn't anybody do a background check or like search or Google anybody they were working with? Especially when the criminals are literally in the news. Just give us money and you can do what you want. Is that how it works, allegedly? Also, this case has a lot of discussions in the internet. Like, many netizens find the spy rumor kind of weird. Aren't spies supposed to be undercover? Aren't spies supposed to be spies? It really doesn't make sense for a spy to be a public figure where their face can be seen in TV, their face is plastered everywhere, and what they do and say is like held accountable to them. Many netizens point out that the intentions don't really match up, like they encourage gambling addiction to Chinese citizens and like torture almost 400 of them. These intentions don't really sound like the intentions of a spy. It honestly sounds like the intentions of a criminal syndicate group. Why even pay almost millions of dollars to transport hundreds of people in the Philippines? Some netizens are saying that they're enemies of the country that they're on, but it really just doesn't make sense to transfer them to the Philippines in the first place, where the Philippine government can see and investigate them, and like spend a lot of money to transfer them here. Some netizens brought up this weird statistic that 9 out of 10 Filipinos agree that believing in God is the only way to be a good person. I think many netizens kind of find this weird contrast funny that we have a population that believes that the only way to be a good person is to believe in God, but the Philippines is full of corruption, there's a lot of unaliveness happening. It's kind of the norm to not care about anything. We literally had a president who would unalive you for smoking weed or just like drug offenses. They didn't even need to prove it. They just could like unalive you. The upward mobility is just really bad because the wages are really low and the people who are working for better rights for everybody, better wages, are being unalive left and right. By who? We don't know. Probably the people who want to pay people less. Allegedly. And historically companies who want to keep wages low. Who are they? We don't know, but they really hate unions. I think the Philippines is a great example of what happens when a society just doesn't have a lot of good worker rights or unions. Everybody just ends up getting paid. Before I go, I'd like to say that the case is still ongoing. It's still on trial. There's still an active investigation going on. And if there are any updates, I'll keep you updated. Have fun, everybody. Please stay safe.